Hello. I do that every time. I just laugh and say hello really silly. Welcome everybody. Kia ora. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Carla. I'm coming to you from the east coast of the North Island of New Zealand. I'm a knitter, a sewer, a crochet now, I'm spinner, and an all-round dabbler of most crafts and bits and pieces. This is probably episode 18, maybe. Can't remember, didn't check. But yeah, welcome back for those of you, my lovelies. I was really hoping that I would be able to record a little bit earlier in the month, but you know, life, it gets in the way, and I just about didn't do it today because I haven't been feeling too good. Just a bit of a cold, sore throat and chest. But I've had a lemon sip, so I'm okay. I thought I'd change my setup too. So anyway, so this is predominantly, if you haven't been here before, this is a predominantly knitting podcast. But like I said before, I do a whole lot of, forgot I had that on. I do a whole lot of other things. So I just sprinkle that in there as well. I don't think there's anything else. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's basically just the name of this, which is Sew, Knit, Create and Repeat. Separated by full stops, and I am on Ravelry, but I'm really slack at keeping up with things on Ravelry. So why don't we get started before something happens, like I have a migraine or a headache or something like that. And I'll update you on what I have been doing for the last month. So to start off with, sorry, my neighbours are over there, I can hear them. I'm wearing my Thea top, which I knitted. I wanted like a woolly vest, but something cropped that I could wear with my dresses. This is knit in my hand spun wool, so it is Corridale from Ashford. Yeah, and I'm really happy with it. It is designed by Suzanne Muller or something like that. I think it's like Paula Strict or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'm a bit unsure. I actually saw this pattern in one of Gayna from Tales from Cuckoo Land's podcasts a little while. Like, I watched some of her older videos and she was making one, and I thought, that's the shape that I want for my vest. So I've made it. Diane from Utree Yarn Craft, she started making one after she saw that I was making one, and finished hers way earlier than me, and she had done an I-cord bind off on the sleeves and the neck, so I copied her and I did the same thing, because I was a bit worried that it was going to end up too wide once the ribbon was put on, and I'd be right. Yeah, so that's my first finished thing. I'm sorry, I've got my stuff stacked down beside me, so I'm just looking at things. Here's a couple of things. So this last week I've had 3 birthdays. Tuesday was my partner Evan, Wednesday was my sister, and Friday was my friend Sally's birthday. So for my sister and Sally, part of their birthday gifts, I crocheted these little granny square things out of cotton to use as coasters for the cups. And I'm just using the same pattern as the Battenberg blanket squares, which is pretty much all I know. But I thought, that'd be quick and easy, and I'd bought a bag of cotton yarn a couple of years ago probably from an op shop. Someone must have donated just a huge amount, so I think I paid like $8 for this big bag of all these natural sort of coloured bits. So that was really cool. I just would sit there while I'm watching TV and make these. So my sister hasn't got hers yet because I've got to post them, so she'll have a late birthday present, but she doesn't expect anything anyway. So there's that. And then socks. So you all know, if you've been here before, that I am doing my year of socks, but I'm doing all of Kelly Menzies from Roro and Cade's patterns. And I sort of was a little bit behind, so I managed to finish 2 pairs of socks in April, my March pair and my April pair. So the first ones I'll show you are these, which are the coastal water socks. They're toe-up construction, and they look a bit long, and they possibly are a little bit long, but they're okay when they're on my feet. They're fine. They probably could have been maybe a centimetre shorter. And the yarn is an Ashford sock yarn, blanks or naked, just undyed, that I bought a pack of 10 so I could dye my own colours, because I really wanted I really wanted blue socks for this pattern. So that was cool, because that's learning something new, is doing toe-up socks. So I really enjoyed these. I haven't worn these ones yet, but the next ones I have worn. Now these ones are the Ballad of the Tenderfoot. Also, you know, like, they're all from Kelly, you don't even need to be told. It is a DK sock pattern, and I didn't have any DK sock wool, so I held one strand of the same type of yarn as those other ones that I hand dyed, with a strand of mohair that I had left over from a top, and I made these. And oh my word, they're so fluffy, I think I'm gonna die. So what that little girl says on what's the movie? Oh, you'd know the movie. Cute little girl with the unicorn. What can I tell you about these? They're really, really warm. I absolutely love them, and I have worn them probably about 4 times since I finished them. And I'm going to put them on my feet now, actually, because it's just starting to cool off here now. So there's like a garter stitch detail down side, and I actually mucked up on my first sock. I'd got all the way down to start the heel flap, and I just went back to have a look at the instructions and realised that I'd actually just done reverse stockinette down there instead of garter. I was like, oh, you dickhead. So I just couldn't live with it, so I ripped it back and started again. Well, from the rib anyway. So I'm just going to put these on my feet now. Oh, they're so nice. Oh, I love them. You know, last year, was it last year? It was. I was watching a knitting podcast, and Evan was around, and he said to me, oh, are you going to knit yourself some socks? And I was like, F off. Can't imagine anything worse. And it was because I just keep thinking, why would I want to knit something that is going to go into holes because of the wear? And then of course I did knit a pair of socks, and I loved how they felt, and those were the Storm Seeker socks by Kelly Menzies. And yeah, once I got that second pair done in February, or January, February, I really appreciate. Now I want all the socks. The other thing I should mention about the Ballad of the Tenderfoot, the way Kelly writes her patterns, they're always really clear anyway, but that one in particular seems to be really aimed or targeted at a really beginner sock knitter, because she explains all the terms really well, tells you why you're going to do the thing, goes into detail about what all the different terminology means. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any reason at all that you could not knit a pair of socks if you haven't done so already, going by that. The other thing, oh look, I've got my diary here. Another finished object is a tunic, and I can't remember the damn name of it now, but I'll put it on the screen when I do the editing. And it should be up to the side here now because I don't have it with me. It's by So Liberated, and I made it for myself, but I don't know where my brain was. I know that when I'm making something like that, I need to not just take into account my hip size and waist size. I need to think about grading it smaller for the top because I'm smaller at the top. And I didn't, and it was way too oversized on top. So my friend Sally she's taller than me and so wider across the shoulders. And so last school holidays, I said to her, look, do you like the look of this dress or tunic? I sent her a picture of a finished one and she's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And I said, well, I've started making one. It just needs to be hemmed. Do you want to try it on? And you can have it because it doesn't fit me. Because there's a lot of detail. It's all French seams. And I'd done all the facings. I'd put all the pockets on. Like, it was really going to be a faff to have to undo it and resize it for me. And so I went over for a coffee and she tried it on. It fit great. So I hemmed it and I gave it to her as part of her birthday present. It wasn't going to be, but I thought, oh, might as well. And yeah, so that is that one. So that's the only bit of sewing I've done. I haven't done a lot of sewing. And yes, that's all my finished things. I've got one finished whip which is close to completion, and it will be done by the time we come to the next episode of this. So I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to pop that up there. And of course you all know it's the Bated Breath shawl by Kelly Menzies of Roro and Cades. So I'll just get the right side happening here. And I made sure that I wasn't halfway through a row. Oh, we're tangled, guys. Man, I just pulled it out of the bag, didn't I? Right, get out of the way. So you've all seen this, but that's the tail. It's coming along. And so I think when I showed you I was up to that gold colour. And we've done trimming the tree. And we've just finished the indigo. And I've just started the pale blue. So for anyone who hasn't seen me with this before, this shawl pattern was designed with an advent calendar yarn collection in mind. So each section, like she's got it sectioned in days. And of course I don't have an advent calendar, but I had some wool or yarn from Mama Wooling here in New Zealand. And one was a mystery club. The others were the wool that I just wait for that yoke to go. That I got for the Stephen West Twist and Turn shawl, which I decided to frog because I didn't like it. So I bought three more skeins to make up the colour selection that I thought would look good. And yeah, so the blue that I'm doing now is this one here. So what I was trying to say is I've got 1 colour per 3 days. So 8 colours over 24 days. So I change, every 4th one I change. 1, 2, 3, 3 days per colour. You can tell that I've got a headache just working just around the back of here. So I'm on my last bit. So hopefully that won't be too long in the works. And then we have my next pair of socks for this month, for May. So these are the Most Ardently socks by Kelly. And I just decided that I was going to dye my wool pink as well. Not copying or anything. So that's the wool that I dyed. I just used a mix that I'd done for some spinning fibre. And this is what I'm up to. So I should have a completed sock soon. I love the texture of these. You find me just going like this, going, oh. I did make a mistake. It's a 4-row pattern repeat, and I repeated one twice instead of alternating and ended up with just that little line there. But you know what, once I realised that I wasn't going back, because I hate ripping back. If I can help it, I won't rip back socks, because it's just, I think it was at night and I wouldn't have been able to see the stitches to pick them back up. And I'm just knitting these with my Addy Crazy Trio sock needles. I love these, they're the best. I knit the ones on my feet now. I knit those on Magic Loop because I didn't have, what were they, 2.75 needles. So yeah, I just did those on Magic Loop and that was fine too. I do have double pointed needles and I have used them before, but I really just can't be bothered. I like how these bend. And it wasn't until I was watching, who was it? I can't remember who I was watching very recently talk about these needles, and they were saying one end is more pointed than the other, and I was like, are they? And I picked mine up and went, oh, hell, they are too. Which makes it really good for lace. So now I'm actually quite conscious of which end I start knitting back onto. What an idiot. So yeah. So they just go in my little sock bag. And then we have something that you haven't seen. Oh, you didn't see those socks though, did you? I think it was their tail end of the school holidays, so a couple of weeks ago. I decided that I was going to go through my wool bins and just sort them out and then write on the side of the bins with vivid marker, 4-ply, fingering, DK, whatever, and just have them all organised. And then one of them's got like specialty wools like mohair and cotton and linen that I don't have a lot of. And I found a whole lot of balls that, because I'm a bit of a hoarder, I couldn't let go of, even though I knew that in the past they'd been eaten by moths, and you'd be knitting and then there'd be a break, and there'd be knitting and there'd be a break. So I separated all those out, and most of this stuff I got from my ex-mother-in-law, my ex-husband's mother. So back when I was in my 20s and I was doing a little bit of knitting then. And prior to retirement, she'd owned a wool shop. So she had a lot of stuff, and she was a spinner as well, and she gave me heaps. So these aren't contaminated anymore, by the way. So I've been making crocheted scrappy blanket because I've got all this wool to get through. There's heaps. And I'm basically holding a strand of brown, black or dark brown with a colour. Oops, that's the hook. And it's big, guys. I started this 2 weeks ago. Where are we? Oh, hang on. So this is it here. And there shouldn't be too many ends poking out because I have been weaving them in as I'm crocheting. So basically I'm just going to keep going until I run out of wool, and then I will crochet an edge around it. I've got some other brown wool there left over, and it's just UK trebles, US doubles all the way along, 2 strands held together. And this is my aesthetic. This is what I like. These sort of tones. Some of the wool is like I said, just out of that scrappy thing. Some is like, you can see the bright ones across there. So when I was first started spinning, you know, sometimes you have 2 bobbins that you ply together, and then you might end up with 1 bobbin that still has some yarn left on it. And so I'd ply it with the leftovers of another project, and I'd have these little random coloured mini skeins, like, and when I say mini I mean tiny, 5 grams or something, maybe not even that. And so that's what that is. See that bright blue, this fluoro yellow. Oh, now I'm getting fluff up my nose. So, and all I've done is I just go through that bag and I pick a colour, and I just start winding it into a little ball, and then I go, oh yeah, I've had enough of that colour now. Snip it, grab another colour, join it by knotting it, do the same, and as I come to the knots, I'm just carefully weaving in the ends. And so you never know what colour's buried underneath. It's really cool. I'm really enjoying that, and particularly when I'm quite tired, because I don't really have to look too hard. And then I've just got a nice little, oh, smell it, guys, smell it. A really nice bar of soap. I bought a 3-pack of this soap because it smelled nice. And my sister and my friend each got one of these in their little birthday parcels. And then I thought, ooh, I'll put it in my little, this is what I've got my blanket in. I picked this up secondhand years ago. I love it. And because it folds up like this, right, and it's got these handles, I have actually taken it to work before. But yeah, so that is my scrappy blanket, which has grown a lot in 2 weeks. And I tell you what, it's heavy. It's got that nice heavy weight. So let's put the hook in there so I don't lose that yarn in there. So yeah, that's been distracting me quite a lot. And that is all my active whips. I do have other whips that I'm not working on at the moment. I'm about halfway through a second bobbin of this wool, this yarn that I'm making for spinning, and I'm aiming to try and get quite a very fine, just experimenting to see how thin I can make it. Yeah, and with views to make some leg warmers. And I'll just be making my own pattern, I think, because I haven't been able to find anything that really appeals to me. I have downloaded some in the past, but yeah, I think I'm just going to do some rib. I'm just going to measure my circumference of my legs and that, do a gauge swatch, do the numbers, It'll be all right. And I've got one more whip that I haven't started, but I prepared for. So a couple of weeks, a week or so ago, my daughter was on her way to work and she was wearing this really nice designed jumper, this acrylic shop bought jumper that was cabled and everything, and it was looking a little bit tired, but it was a nice design, and I told her that. I said, oh, that's really nice. I said, I can make you something like that. She goes, scratchy wool. And that night she said, oh, I've been thinking, you could make me something if it's not scratchy. So I was like, oh, jump on this. She goes, but something plain, nothing with holes in it, she reckons. So I grabbed a cardigan that I've made out of Utiku Corridale. Sorry, that's a burp. And I said, feel this, put it on your skin. Does that feel scratchy? She said, no. Okay, right. Because I thought, well, I'm making her DK. I love her, but I'm not loving her enough to make her a fingering weight top. And then I just did sort of a search on Ravelry I was sort of thinking she just wanted like a plain raglan type thing. She chose the pattern that I had favorited for my next jumper pattern when I was going to make another jumper. No holes, Jess. Oh, but that's different, she said. So I'm making her the couture top or pullover, which I was going to make for myself next. And I'm going to actually make mine with, I've got some wool on a cone, which is just a soft beigey brown. And I'm going to hold that with a strand of mohair. But she wouldn't like mohair, it's too fluffy for her. And she has chosen, so we went onto the website and she has chosen this mocha colour. So I'm going to do a gauge swatch for that, but I'm not going to start this until I've finished my shawl, because once I start this I'll probably won't want to pick anything else up for a while, and I've got to keep up with my socks. So once I have finished the shawl, Jess's jumper will start. I haven't started one for my Nana yet because I haven't caught up with her yet. But yeah, it's so nice just to be able to. And we were sitting together on the couch and we were looking through patterns or the colour of the wool or something. And Evan had come home from work and he goes, oh, what are you two up to? And I said, we're bonding over knitting. And he's like, what? So yeah, that's us. This really is quite lovely. Like this company, it's the wool company, and they're in Taihape, and they farm the wool and everything. So it's really reasonable. This is a 200 gram hank, and it's $19. So that's what is $19? $9.50 for 100 grams. I don't think that's not bad. And I got 3, knowing that we're not going to need all 3, but I can definitely use it because I've still actually got 2 left over of the other colour, so I could do something striped. There's always uses for these things. So that is me. I've got no idea what I've been talking about, how long I've been talking for, but yeah. Where did I put my diary? Oh, there. Let's have a look at my diary and see if there's anything else I was going to update you people on. Oh, just lifey stuff. Right, Michelle from A Simple Life podcast. Now, I knew she had said to me, could I mention you? And I'd sort of went, oh, yeah. And I hadn't thought about it. And then a couple of weeks ago, she put a new podcast up and she hasn't done one for quite a while. So I was like, oh, and I just quickly jumped in there and started watching it. And right towards the end, she started talking about me. And, I nearly cried. I did get a bit watery because she was so kind. Thank you, Michelle. And quite a few of you new viewers, I think, have come from Michelle, because I noticed my numbers started going boom, 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 boom after that. So thank you, Michelle. I really, 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 it was so nice. And I 100% agree with you. Just, I feel the same way about the people that I follow and I watch as well. Yeah, so that was really nice. Thanks. What else have I got? Oh, washing liquid. I don't know why I put that there. I must be running out of things to talk about. I just made my own washing liquid, but I haven't tried using it yet, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, gardens are all slowing down now. We're in autumn, although the weather is, we had a week or two of quite cold weather, and I actually caved in and lit the fire, and then it's been warm again, so it's been a little bit strange. Best laid plans, been wanting to do bits and pieces outside, but you know, you do what you do with the energy that you have. Yeah, I was going to bought a heap of capsicums because I'm going to make Nana's pepper chutney. Maybe I might do that after this. I'm really glad that I sat down and did this, because the longer you leave it, the harder it is. I have to drag all this stuff back over to my crafty corner. So I'd love to hear what you guys have been up to. I really enjoy the comments. Thank you so much to those of you who take the time to comment. Like, subscribe. What a dick. Yeah, you don't have to if you've got this far. Yeah, so I think I'm just delaying the goodbye, really. Thank you very much for having me into your viewing space for a little while. Let me know what you're knitting on, what you're sewing on, what you're gardening. Oh, sorry. What you're doing. I've got a bit of a woke up with a sore throat a couple of days ago, and I haven't been feeling too well with it, but I've been taking some of those lemon sip sachets. I've run out now, so it'll be downhill from here. Yeah. Oh, and those that wanted to know with the migraines, I'm going to the doctor on Wednesday. I've finally got an appointment, so we'll see what happens with that as well. So take care, my lovely people. I will talk to you next time. Bye.